Okay, today's video, we're talking about e-commerce businesses. You guys that are doing e-commerce, does the product, if you're running a PPC campaign basically, should I send my traffic to the product page on my site, or in other words, a single product? Should I send people to a category page where multiple products are displayed so we give the user a choice? Or, which you may have not even been or have considered at all yet, do I send them to a search results page where there's also multiple choices, but essentially is a little bit more customized, to a degree, we'll just say. I'll get into the specifics on it, of what's being shown. So there's multiple products that are more closely geared to what somebody might want that's not officially a category page on your site. I'm going to talk about what generates the most sales. If you haven't tested it, you should. I'll explain why, what works better in what circumstances, what works better overall in a general sense most of the time, what you can do to capitalize on what you don't know right away so you can right away start making more money for your company. And even if you think you got figured out who should see what, because this is not a binary thing where everybody should see just product page, and then, or should I say, everybody either sees a product page or a category page, respectively, depending on the user. One will want to see one will see the other. Essentially, beyond that, even if you figure that out for every type of user, so that you're just sending, what I was trying to key in on before was, instead of just sending everybody to a product page and knowing that that's the best way, or everybody to a category page, the best results is where you sub-segment your traffic, because some people, based upon what they type in, will want to see a category page, and some others will want to see a product page. But even if you were doing that already, I've got a great method for you to take things even further, using a search results page. And if you have used that, you can go even further with another great strategy I'm going to mention, where you're using a clone or copies of your category page or your product page to get even more results out of them, even yet, capitalizing or using the propensity of people wanting to see, certain things after they click on your ads, and based upon knowledge that I have, running lots of tests to see what's the most ideal page to send people to on an e-commerce site. Which has to do with some, landing pages. And landing pages are not something that most people who run e-commerce sites, something they talk about. If you're selling something complicated, it absolutely is crucial that you do a good landing page for your customers, because you can't really make campaigns work. Most sites are not cut out, or product pages or category pages by themselves are not cut out to do well with PPC, which is one thing. But even if you do have something simple, what you show right up top, the headline of the page, that's 50% of your results right there can be related to whether you got that right or don't got that right. Which they're using a landing page, you can change that, you can get a lot more results, and that's all you would have to change. And I'll talk about that as an additional thing as per basically trying to decide where you need to send your PPC traffic to. In general, is it a product page? Is it a category page? And how do we take this another level to the next level? So that all said, that's what's covered in this video. I'm going to get into the content here. This is a decision that all people need to be tasking themselves and making, whether or not they know it or not right now, or have thought about it in the past. Like I touched on just a minute ago in the overview, some people are absolutely going to want to see a product, and just one product, and make it easy for them. Other people, they want to have a selection. They don't want options. Or more so than that, could you say, they're not sure, what they want yet, so they want to help. They want to be the one that discovers it themselves. But not only that, respectively, when somebody types in something, respectively, you don't know exactly what they want. Some people want this, some people want that. Therefore, you get, obviously in that case, showing multiple products can be a better option for that type of people who would type in this exact keyword, because it varies on a keyword by keyword basis. One keyword, a product page will do better, another keyword, a category page will do better. The times where the category page does better, sometimes it just does better because respectively, the people that type in XYZ keyword, they want so many different things that the category page does better because of that. So the difference in results you're going to get from a product page versus the category page for, so let's just take this a step backwards. If you're just sending everybody to a product page or everybody to a category page right now, and you upgrade to trying to figure this out on a keyword by keyword basis and actually going through the actions to figure out which ones should be shown for which keywords, you can literally get 3 times as much results from your same exact opportunities you have from search ads on Google as well as Bing, respectively. Okay, if you find out that if you're, depending on your luck, if you're just using a product page and a category page is better, you can already do twice as good just by figuring that one thing out. But even if you're not, you try to figure this out on a keyword by keyword basis, you'll for sure get more results, because very, very, very rarely will everybody just want a category page or just want a category page. It might be 80-20, but still there's opportunity there to be had. And you want to definitely figure out which one to send people to, and not just do it on a everybody to one, everybody to the other, because like I said, it's rare that everybody just wants the same thing. There's a lot of different people that have, some people are far away from making a purchase, some people know exactly what they want, and basically the people that know what they want, you want to take them to, hopefully, one product, because that, that makes things easier for them, whereas if they're farther away, they're more wanting to browse around. Okay, that's sort of the general idea of why product pages versus category pages work, but there's a whole different plethora of different people that are searching, that want different things, or at the different part of the sales cycle or stage of buying, and you have to be able to figure out what they want if you want this extra upwards of 3 times more results that you can get on your campaigns by figuring it out right. That said, obviously your choices, like I said before, if you're running a PPC campaign, you need to figure out where to send people to, or you have a PPC campaign and you want to take my advice and figure out, where, to split test where you're taking people to. You got the category page, which is great for general terms. Where if they're making a general search, we don't know what they want. So therefore, a group of products, like I said, can be better because it can cater to everybody, if you will. Within that general, even if it's just one keyword, they again can want a lot of different things within that keyword, and the keyword is arbitrary, then it can cater to everybody in that specific group, if you will. So if it's a general term, if you sell tennis rackets, you have all different types of tennis rackets, they type in tennis rackets alone, that's when they normally will be helped the most by giving them multiple options, because we don't know exactly what they want yet, and it's likely if they type that in, they do want to browse around. Or if it's not clear what they want, then sending them the multiple choices, they can self-select themselves. And to tell you right off the bat, you have the category page, you also can send them to the product page, which is kind of the opposite to this. And the product page, generally, as per my research, works the best for specific terms. They know exactly what they want. Therefore, as you can imagine, if we could send them to one product, we're saying, you want this is what to buy, a lot of people will just go with what we recommended. And obviously, if we have something that actually has the verbiage, what they used on the keyword on the product page, then it really works. Your third option, like I said, you can take people to a search results page. So what I mean by that is you take, like for instance, the keyword and you type it into your search bar, and all the products that show up is like a de facto category page, but it's more geared towards, hopefully, if your search results or your search engine on your e-commerce site works properly, will get you a result that, and whatever products are there, the mix of products that are there, are a little bit better geared towards helping the user or narrow down quicker what they want based upon what they were using as a keyword. And that's great for again, arbitrary terms where they are not specific quite what they want yet, or general terms, but you have no category page in place that you think will kind of serve them. So if they're looking for red tennis rackets, going back to my previous example, you could type in red tennis rackets on the search results and hopefully get your search results page to show only red tennis rackets, versus you only have a category page that shows all kinds of tennis rackets. And obviously that will help the user find what they want faster and easier. The easier it is for your user to buy, the higher the conversion rate you're going to get, the most money you're going to make. So that's technically a third option. A third option that not a lot of people think about, but is a third option. And as a third option, we're going to be talking about trying to decide on where to send your traffic to, what you should do for your own e-commerce company. So what I was going to say before, I skipped over, I'll reveal now. Most people, I know from my experience, want the category page overall, because most search results, or most of the traffic, aren't on very specific keywords in most markets. But in general, unless they're typing a very, very specific thing, the category page will actually convert better. So in general, if you had to send everybody to one particular option of these three options, the category page is probably going to be your best bet. Okay? The only exception would be, of course, like if your category page totally sucks, or something like that, or your product page is very descriptive and your product is so technical that they are going to have to read a huge long sales page, and your product page serves kind of as that long sales page, the product page alone will probably work better for you in that case. But anyway, category page beats product page, beats search results page, or sorry, beats products. Category page beats the product page, we'll say 75% of the time. I'll group category and search results pages together because they're basically the same thing. They're multiple products shown, or in other words, showing multiple products like 75% of the time will beat just showing one product and trying to having to send them to one product, and hopefully they'll just go with that one product that they were shown by default. So there's our options. Now, I did a test. So depending on how long I run a PPC firm, if you don't know yet, and we test landing pages at some stage in the process. You always, when you're doing PPC, you should try to figure out what's the lowest hanging fruit, what's the weak link in the chain of the process of taking users from search to sale, and you fix that first, and then you do the next most impactful thing, which is you have to weigh impact. Your algorithm has to be impact plus ease of use. Whatever's going to get the biggest impact, which is still easy to use, you do that next, and then it goes on for years like that. You take out the next weakest link, next greatest opportunity in row, in line, and then you just keep going, and you just and you could keep doing this dozens of times. You have to layer on different dozens of strategies. If you watch this channel, there's so much stuff you can do. You can't do it all at once, but you just keep doing one thing at a time. Find out what's going to work for that individual piece of your sales funnel, which is what you're doing with PPC. Is you're creating a funnel for people to buy from you, whether it's lead generation, you're selling products, whatever. And then you go on to find the next most ideal way to do the next part, and that can go. It's not just about improving ad and landing page, but we improve the ad. Okay, what's the best way to do the second headline on this ad? What's the best way to do the third headline? And you just keep going through these actions. How can I streamline the cart? And you just keep doing it. And then eventually your whole funnel's so profitable that you could afford to suck up all the traffic from your competitors and you beat everybody. And it's just a matter of time. If you keep putting in the tests and going ahead and asking yourself, what is the user going to be helped by more than what I have right now? And again, doing it on a piece-by-piece basis, you're eventually going to have something that just, is, ironclad spits out money. It's inevitable if you just put the time in and you use the strategies, like for instance that I give you on this channel specifically, that actually work most of the time, and then just implementing those strategies one by one to your campaigns. But I am going to give you a real world example here of, it's been long enough since I worked with this client that I can tell you, I give you examples of the keywords in a specific business that people were typing in, where I can show you whether the category page or the product page actually converted better, so you can kind of see how this kind of works in reality or in action. And so to start off just by saying the company this is, where I'm going to give you a case study, if you will, a real world example here, was a ceramic coating for cars. Now what this is, it's like a clear glue type deal that you put over the paint of your car, in which creates another layer. So you have your paint usually on your car, then there's this clear coat that they put on top at the factory that makes it look shiny. And then you can also put this, which is an aftermarket thing, you would have to do this yourself as the user, put another coat on top, a ceramic coating, which makes it like a rock-like hard coating that would be put on top of the paint to seal it and add extra protection to the car. Gives it different properties. The water rolls off the car, easily. Car stays cleaner. There's some other benefits, which I won't go into. But that was the product in question. There's a bunch of competition out for this. A lot of shady people that do it. They don't have products that are worth a damn. A lot of that are. It's hard to differentiate yourself. In that market, one way that you can beat your competition, amongst other things, is just to outwork them. One of the ways you outwork them is you figure out on a keyword by keyword basis, like we're talking about here, what's the best place to send people to? Is it the product page? Is it, ultimately you could go further and say this product versus this other product, which after you do the testing I'm talking about here and you find product pages where the product page was the best place to take them, respectively, you go one step further. The next logical step is to test one product over another, specifically one product that's more expensive versus a cheaper product. And sometimes the more expensive one will work, sometimes it won't, unbelievably. But what we're talking about here is figuring out category page or product page, what works best. And that's usually what I do first in terms of testing where we're sending traffic to for an e-commerce site. And based upon the keyword, like I said it would happen with you, you're going to get a different result of whether that product page or whether that category page works best for you, depending on what they're typing in, because each person as a group that types in that same keyword are going to behave differently, have different traits, have different expectations, whatever. They're a whole new audience, if you will. So the first keyword that we're going to talk about in terms of their campaign they had set up on Google, I have 5 keywords here. I'm going to tell you what won. The product page or the category page, you can kind of see how this works in reality, like I said. The first keyword I'm going to talk about is ceramic coating. So that's like the most base term, there's the most search volume that most people are going to type in out of the whole universe of keywords that they could type in to find this product and buy it. In that particular case, also because it's general, the category page ended up working the best. And again, the category page works most of the time. You could certainly just try, if you're running the product page now, try the category page like I said. If that wins, run the category page for everything, which if you're going to start out testing the category page or the product page and you haven't done this yet, I recommend testing it on your top 3 traffic ad groups. So you don't have to test the whole account or just one ad group. Run your test there, product page versus category page. When we figure out what works, then do it to all your other ad groups. So you can not lose so much in the process of testing, if that makes sense. Respectively, you switch everything over to category page, assuming that works the best or whatever. That's going to probably work the best in most ad groups, like I said, unless it's a really overly technical product. And which I gave the caveat for that already. So that's what worked there. Pretty simple on that one. And obvious what would work the best, because people go to the category page, they want to know, okay, well, there's more expensive ones. Some people want the more expensive one, some people want the cheaper one. There's a kit there. This one's just the product by itself. This one has, like a warranty on it, and has some, it's like the premium package, and includes, some of like an extra couple things with it. So, and there's multiple options there. So, and that's what the case was with this company. So when we get into the second keyword, if we're talking about, so the keyword, another keyword we were bidding on was ceramic coating kits. So we had ceramic coatings before, category page worked the best there. Ceramic coating kits, the category page still worked the best. So even though you think ceramic coating kits, wouldn't you think that if we just sent them to a page with a kit available, wouldn't that work the best? In this case, no, it wasn't. Even though the category page only had like one actual product where it was like this, everything you needed to do this possible was included. There were still other products there, and enough people wanted to look at other products that sending them to a page that did have everything with to actually do it that you needed, a so-called kit, still didn't work the best. So it goes back to what I said before. There's so many mentalities of people that are typing in looking for a ceramic coating kit, that it's still, even though we sent them to a kit, they still wanted to see kits versus non-kits, or in general, if you had different kits, they would, with that, it would have still worked best. So they want to see what type of kits there are, more cheaper ones, more expensive ones, or whatever the differentiation obviously is between them. So because the deal is, people want to be able to, number one principle in sales is to let people make their own decision for themselves. If you want to sell something, you try to steer the conversation in a way that they're going to make up their own mind for themselves, because that's what's going to lead to the best results. So if you give them 5 products, they're going to think that they were clever by picking the top one. That obviously, and why that can work better than sending them to one product, they're not going to feel like they came up with it themselves in that case. And that's why the category page also works better than just, obviously if you walked into a store and somebody, let's say you go into Best Buy, you want to buy a new computer, salesperson says, here's the perfect computer for you. Versus, this is a good one, this is a good one, this is a good one. You picking the best one. As you can imagine, you would like it more if they narrowed it down for you and you got to pick the best one within that group. Makes logical sense, right? For the third keyword though, we're going to talk about next, the keyword in question that we were bidding on was top ceramic coating. So top ceramic coating, or top ceramic coatings if you want to say that, okay? Because it's anymore with Google as well as Bing, the plural and the singular version of a word is going to be triggered by the same keyword. I technically, by the way, with that have keywords for the singular and plural separate, even though Google says that they're going to treat them the same. They do treat them a little bit differently, as I still found, so I'm going to take advantage of that and bid, therefore have the capability to bid a little bit different for plural versus singular, i.e. S or not S at the end. This is a side tip for you on this video. Top ceramic coatings, let me just put this just to reinforce this. Top ceramic coatings, the product page worked better, okay? So in that particular case, somebody was trying to find a good quality ceramic coating. They're kind of confused or whatever, and probably a bunch of those people obviously are going to click on a page that has reviewed a few, or maybe a blog who's reviewed one that they liked, and the ads there, for the few people who do click on the ads, what would work better there? Showing a multiple, which now, yes, they get to decide which one's for them, but they're confused, versus sending them to a page which, you're going backwards here, your ad can say top ceramic coating in industry, or something thereof. And with that, I if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I always have one keyword per ad group. So I can have a custom ad for every ad group because you're going to get twice the click-through rate doing it that way versus not, and having there, and with the headline one customized to what the keyword is, not done through scripting, but like hand write a headline one, you'll get twice the click-through rate, which will get you almost half the cost per click just from that one action. I can also hand select where the person's going to go for each keyword, given each keyword an audience, because each keyword's a new audience of people. We can figure out where to send people to that's the most ideal and get another upwards of twice as much results, having figured out if it was the product page or the category page that most of those people typing in that keyword actually wanted to go to. And if we don't know, we can split test it at least. But in that particular case, we could say we're the top one, send them to the top product, and that therefore would help them more than saying we have the top product and then show 5. There's a disconnect there. So we tested that, and the product page worked better. And like I said before, if it's unclear if what they want, you just split test it. In fact, if you're just starting out in PPC, you're new to marketing, whatever, you may split test every single ad group to see which, if you have one keyword per ad group, what is the one that'll work the best, the product or the category page. Okay? For me, however, I'm going to only really probably test the ad groups in which the keyword is like more specific itself, because if it's a generic keyword, I kind of will already know the category page will probably work better, because I told you the reason for that before. In the situations where it's more unclear, that it looks like they do want a specific item, I can test it there. Sometimes I'll test it in every ad group still. I'm just giving you an option, because every test you run, obviously you're going to lose some sales in the process, because if the test loses, I'll know you'll lose sales in the process. So you could decide to split test every ad group and see for every keyword what works, product or category. Or you could just say, clearly, I'm not sure in these situations if they wanted a product shown or a category shown. I'll just run the split test there. But anyway, to sum it up, the great thing about having one keyword per ad group is you can actually figure out on a keyword basis, and just from what I told you already, that some people want to see a product based upon what they type in. Some people want to see a category page with multiple products based upon what they type in. So that's what you've learned so far, and therefore that setup, you can really get a lot more sales or maximize your sales from the same traffic by doing that. So you'll make a lot more money by having one keyword per ad group anyway, like I said. But once you go there, don't stop there. Go ahead and make sure you're sending them to the right page. And you don't have to stop there. There's another way you can customize the page you take them to that's really simple to do, which I'm going to talk to you about on this next one. But with this next one, so the fourth keyword on my list that I'm talking about here is I'm talking about the keyword vinyl ceramic coating. So the word vinyl, to explain this one, so on your car, there's a thing called wraps. You could wrap your car, and it looks like you painted your car, but really it's just a wrap around your car to make it look another color. And some people want to add the ceramic coating on top of the wrap so that you get all the properties of the coating still and be able to use a wrap at the same time. Okay? So with that particular situation, that one's trickier, right? But realistically, in that situation, if you just think about it, and this is part of the reason why nobody does this, because in order to do this, you have to think on a keyword by keyword basis. What do they really mean when they type in this keyword? Do they mean this? Do they mean this? When they type in vinyl ceramic coating, they're looking for a product that'll work for vinyl, right? And so they don't necessarily, and sometimes it's hard to figure out, which is why you got to test it, but they don't have to go to a page that they think is only for vinyl. They just want a company that sells a product that will also work with vinyl, but they still want to make the choice themselves. And that's what we figured out. the category page worked better for that, not the product page. Even though I feel, let's just say, or you could feel if you were in this situation, that the product page might work, given they're typing in something more specific. Like I said, usually the more specific searches are the ones where the product page are going to work. So we tested it. The category page worked the best because, respectively, they still wanted to be able to decide what kit we had, but the ad could say ceramic coating for vinyl on it. So they knew just by looking at the ad again that it was compatible. So already right there, when they were sent to a page with multiple products on it, they already kind of knew that it was compatible, and therefore it was compatible enough, or in general set up the sale enough to where they didn't need to just go to a product. They still, the maximum kind of output from what we could have been doing was to still give them a choice of the 5 products that they now know are compatible with vinyl, got us the most money. That said, I told you you can use a 1 keyword per ad group model inside your campaigns and get a lot more results with that. You can customize the ad, so when they type in vinyl ceramic coating, that can be in the headline, so you get a super high click-through rate, and you can decide to send them to a product page or a category page, or at least test it or specifically test it and find out which works the best, and end up getting more revenue that way. But with that said, you can take things a bit further, and if you could take the category page and clone it in a landing page tool like Unbounce, which I've talked about in other videos, make it look exactly the same as your category page that you sent people to before, right? Then you can do things to where potentially you could say, you could put in the top of that landing page, which your category page on your site now has no big headline on it, but you send people to the Unbounce version of that page, which is literally the same, but has a place for a headline. You can put vinyl ceramic coating there. You can get a lot more conversion rate. Just by having the keyword in the headline like that, we found at our agency routinely, or on average, they'll get about 40% more conversion rate just by doing that one thing, keyword in the headline. In this particular situation, and with this particular keyword, vinyl ceramic coating, the category page worked best up until we actually was able to take the product page that we were going to test with, or sending people to, make a copy of that product page, and the title of the product, when we made a copy of that product page, said vinyl ceramic coating kit. Okay? So then taking that, what I told you about the customizing the headline with the keyword, then that particular that product page itself with the custom headline beat the category page. Okay? So in other words, the product page might win if you have a product page where what's in the headline of that, or the product name of that product, or prominently on that product page, is very close to what they typed in. If you don't have a product that closely matches the keyword, then the category page will generally work better. See that? Going further here, when we tested having the keyword vinyl ceramic coating in the headline, but on the category page, because we made the category page in Unbounce, so we can effectively do that thing where the keyword is in the headline, the category page beat the product page again, which, and on the product page of which the title was changed to actually say vinyl ceramic coating kit. So it was the category page the whole time that won. If we just changed the headline we made a copy of the product and made another product essentially, or a virtual product if you want to say that, and the title was changed so that the keyword could be in the title, the product page would beat the category page. But if we took that a step further, or take that a step further, and we put the keyword in the headline and and put a place for a headline on the category page by taking the category page, making it an unbounce. The conversion rate, or which I grade things is overall ROI, revenue divided by ad spend, then the category page beat the product page. Taking a step backwards, as far as like if you want to take and do that trick I mentioned where you have the keyword in the headline to get an additional 40% conversion rate on your site, if you're trying to do the keyword in the headline on the product page, like I said, it's very easy. You just make a copy of the product. It'll junk up your back end of your site a little bit, therefore you may only want to do it for the top traffic keywords, but it's easy. You just make a copy of the product to make another product, change the product name title to something that contains the keyword. You don't do it just the keyword. You look at the keyword and you find a way to work the keyword in the headline so it doesn't look automated. You don't want to use computer scripts for this. You need a human to say, okay, they're typing in this. What do I think they want to see in the headline, to make sure that they know that we do what they're looking for and said in the keyword. For the category page, to have the keyword in the headline on the category page, it takes a lot more effort. You find a designer, you make the designer make a copy of what your category page that you're sending people to already in Unbounce. The links on the category page will link people to different pages on your site, just like your category page does now. And even though that category page is not on your website at all, physically, it's okay, because any of the other links that they click on will take them to the real site, which allows us to essentially change the layout of our site without having to change the layout on our site, if that makes sense. Normally, that's what we got to do. Your other option is, of course, you can make sure your category page has a headline on it, and then you could technically make a copy of, make a bunch of categories so that each new category you made would be catered to a specific keyword, but that gets messy. So it's a lot more practical just to make a copy of the category page that looks visually the same in Unbounce or a landing page tool that you prefer, and make that landing page look the same, except for having a headline now, so we can pull the keyword and headline trick and get your extra 40% that way for the people who prefer a category page and now want the keyword in the headline available for them on that category page. And so you get the general idea there of what to do. And if you're going to put the keyword in the headline on the category page, it's probably self-explanatory by now, but don't use software to do that, by the way. You're always going to handwrite the headline to correspond to what the keyword is and what you think that they want to see in the headline based upon what they typed in. The ads on the headline on the ad is the same way. You don't use software for that. The first headline basically says what the keyword is, or if they're typing in something kind of nonsensical, it's a variation of what they typed in the first headline. That gets twice the click-through. And then if you take them to the landing page, whether that's product page or category page, you'll get another 40% increase of conversion rate by having the keyword in the headline there. If you don't want to do what I said, where you can literally, if you find out the category page is what people want to see from a particular keyword, if you still want to get the extra 40% conversion rate by having the headline with the keyword in it, but you don't want to do that whole trick I mentioned where you use a landing page tool like Unbounce and recreate the category page in there, and then in the new page that you create, put a spot for a headline up top that's fairly prominent, so you could put the keyword in the headline and get your 40%. You could potentially just use the search results page trick I mentioned at the start of the video, where you type that keyword in the search result or the search box on your site, and then hopefully with the template and the design, how your site's programmed, you'll get products there, and then there'll be a headline that says search results for keyword. And then you'll get an extra boost of conversion rate without having to do the whole making it another page in a landing page tool and then using that to send traffic to versus the actual category page on your site. And But I'll say from that, search results for is not as nearly as good. You'll get some increase in conversion rate, 10, 20%. You'll get, if you want the 40%, it should say, instead of search results for vinyl ceramic coatings, it just says vinyl ceramic coatings or vinyl ceramic coating kits. To go back to my exact previous example where what we were doing specifically for that keyword in that one, you'll get the 40%. So if you don't want to go through with all the hassle of making the category page in a landing page tool and then send the traffic there, and then from that page letting them click on something to get back to the site to capture their interest, you can use a search results page as a way to do it. And use you type in the keyword in the search box, that page that shows up, your URL will be a long string of garbled characters, but you could actually use that as the final URL in your Google ad or Bing ad. They do let you do that. But anyway, with all that said, the last keyword I wanted to talk about in this actual experiment and with this client where we did this is windshield ceramic coating. So sometimes people, to explain this first, they'll take that ceramic coating, they'll also put it on their glass, their vehicle glass, their windshield, as well as the other glass on their vehicle. Windshield, it helps repel water more so, keeps the thing cleaner. And with that, now that keyword right there, it's a very specific term. So if I were looking at it outright, I would be, and what you should do, you should think, well, they probably want an individual product there because it's so specific. Specifically, if I've got a product that's about windshields and I only have one, so therefore would only send them there. But again, not everybody, or you're not ever going to know for sure until you've tested out sending them to a product that, well, you in general know if you've got a windshield product in this case, even if you have multiple windshield products, that sending them to one of them is going to work better than a category page for something that's as specific of a search as this. But respectively, if you just have one product that matches up with windshield ceramic coating, you for sure want to send them to just that product page and not test at all a category page, because it wouldn't make sense to send them to a category page with that one product available on it or whatnot, assuming that none of the other products they see would actually work for windshields, if you get my point. There legitimately is only one selection, you send them to the product page every time. That's the only way it will work. Or not say the only way it will work. You'll get some sales people that will eventually find the product, but what's going to win every time is sending them directly to the product. But if for this particular case, the product page won, okay, and even though the product did not have that it was just for windshields in the product page that we were sending people to. The reason why I bring this one up is because I explained before the category page won until we customized the headline on the product page to say vinyl in it, a vinyl ceramic coating kit. In this page, the product page already won, even though it wasn't windshield ceramic coating kit, okay? And the reason why that happened, I believe, is just because it's a more specific of a search, specific enough that if we say windshield ceramic coating kit on the ad and send them directly to a product, because they had trouble finding other directly where it's just for windshields, or so to say just for windshields, they went with our suggestion, okay? Kind of like similar to the top ceramic coatings keyword, how they went with our suggestion there. So now, so to say with that, if we would have customized the headline and made another virtual product that was windshield ceramic coating kit, we would get even more results, absolutely, which eventually we did do that. But even without changing the headline already, the product page did better than the category page. Again, mostly the psychology being I want something so specific that I do want you to actually just recommend something to me. I don't want to see your lineup of products and then I make a decision at that point. So I wanted to show you that one as well. That's my final example of how this stuff works. So long story short, test your landing pages that you're using for your e-commerce PPC campaigns on Google search, on Bing search ads. You will find a lot more results. Going a step further, your remarketing ads, where you're sending people to, respectively. Generally speaking, if you send people back to your site, sending them to the home page is at the place. Either you want to send them to the product or category page. You want to test those ads. Any other display ads you have, same thing. You're gonna you may already have the right one that works 80% of the time, and you'll get some results, but you always get some results testing this if you break it up and test product versus category on for each audience that you're marketing to, each keyword that you're marketing to. And if you're lucky, you'll make 2 to 3 times as much results because you've got it totally wrong. You won't know if you're sending them to the wrong place until you find out for yourself and test it for yourself. But don't just test sending everybody to one place or the other. Each audience and each keyword that you're targeting will have a little bit different behavior, and it'll mostly probably go one way, but for some other subset of what you're targeting, it'll go the other way, and you'll end up with a lot more money long term figuring it out for each keyword or each actual audience of people that you're targeting for like a display campaign or whatnot. If you like this video, I have a lot of other videos on this channel about other money-making PPC strategies. If you want to figure out how to make a ton of money with PPC, you should definitely check those out as well. I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns the way that I build them here for our clients to guarantee their results. If you want to see information along those lines to help yourself out potentially, you can also find it there. If you have any questions about landing pages and e-commerce PPC, leave me a comment down below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel. If you think I should have covered something that didn't, feel free to ask. I'll be there. That said, hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on my next video that comes out with another great PPC topic or strategy on it, and that comes out in the next day or two.